Hello everyone, Louis Hanzo here, and welcome to the first video of 2023. And, upon request, we have a what if. Now, you might notice my vocals sound a little off tonight. Well, it's night at the time of recording. And that's because in a most recent stream on Superman's channel, I joined him and Buutube for some forced and delightful commentary. And partway through, I made the mistake of trying to sing as Raditz. Needless to say, I blew my vocals a little bit. So, there's your reasoning. It's not my editing or my microphone this time around. So, that being said, we once more have to step into the myriad of possibilities, the numerous closed doors, all with one simple phrase on each. What if? And in the face of that, I asked you what you want to see. What narrative do I pursue? And in an overwhelming victory, you chose. And so we fling open the door and seek the answer to the question, what if Yamcha was a Saiyan? It is age 733. In this year, Yamcha would be born to parents unbeknownst to us, humble viewers. But in this time, his parents would not be human. He would be born on planet Vegeta. And, in keeping with Saiyan children, newborns, he was placed in an incubation pod. Not the most exciting start, but one common to Saiyans of his age. However, a neat little event would take place a year later, where in age 734, a new infant would join him. Who's this infant? Well, I think you can guess. This child is Bardock's, the one we would know as Goku, or to the other Saiyans, Kakarot. In age 737, months prior to the fateful end of planet Vegeta, a pod arcs away from the planet on a trajectory to our humble little blue marble, Earth. And as this Saiyan pod flies through the cosmos, it carries with it a small child, a toddler really. And this toddler would grow up to be our Yamcha. Eventually, his pod would crash land in a place known as Diablo Desert, landing near a group of bandits who called this area home. Now, unfortunately, these bandits did not watch much in the way of horror movies or alien movies, and thus fall victim to the trope of investigating the crash site. And upon reaching it, they are greeted by an open pod and a child, no more than 4 years of age, clad in armor. And as the bandits stare at this bizarre sight, their confusion gets an added layer of shock as the toddler's tail would move into view. And as they gazed at this tiny tyke, he began crawling toward them, or trying to, up out of the crater. As he got closer to the bandits, one reached out for the child. And as he reached down to pick up this young, lost child from the stars, he was greeted by the thing latching onto his arm with all of its might and began chomping down and worrying that thing like a dog with a bone. Of course, the other bands didn't take kindly to this. And within moments, they had subdued the alien. Rather subjective, really. And, well, while they succeeded, they didn't come out unscathed. A few bites, some scratches, and one poor guy with a black eye and broken nose. Ironically, the first guy. And during the struggle, the leader of these bandits, a strong woman, built something akin to what a female Ox King would be like. Now there's a mental image. She walks over, picks up the child, and as he struggles and attempts to bite and strike her, she glares at him and headbutts him. And as the other bandits stare on, she drops him into the sand and walks off. Ironically, this cadre of bandits would be the closest thing this child knows to family. And this woman, well, she became the source of his fear in the face of women. Now, things move along as they should in canon. In age 749, Bulma and Goku meet. They set off for the Dragon Balls. And, of course, we have the moment where Goku meets Yamcha. The only difference is, among the many others, that this isn't a meeting of a monkey boy and a human. No. Forget the journey to the west. This is a clash between some Saiyans. And as the two kind of stare each other down, having that moment of, wait, you have a tail too? Well, let's just say the fight doesn't go as well for Goku as it did in canon. And being raised by bandits, Yamcha is a ruthless fighter. And if you're wondering about his cat companion Puar's here. Unfortunately, the relationship between floating cat, shapeshifter, and bandit is not the same as in canon. Instead of friends, more of a boss and minion relationship. But as the two young Saiyans, while surprised at their mutual appendages, fight, Puar and Oolong have a moment where they're trying to come to grips with all this. Unfortunately, as all this is going down, Oolong realizes who Yamcha is. See, given Yamcha's new upbringing, he became known as the Demon of the Diablo Desert, a man who wipes out any on his path to riches. But in the face of this revelation, Oolong is left staring as Yamcha stands victorious over a hungry Goku. Just a more beaten up Goku. However, Bulma awakens in time to interrupt the killing blow. And, of course, Yamcha being Yamcha, gets out of dodge. And, well, from here, canon takes over again. Up until the time Yamcha and Puar see Ox King for the first time. Instead of both of them being afraid of this mountain of a man, Yamcha wants to fight him. He wants to square up with Ox King, throw those hands. But the cooler head in the form of Puar convinces him to rethink this. Especially when old Gohan is mentioned. Now, this version of Yamcha is more of a battle junkie, and not as sly as the one we know. However, Poir gives him the idea, what if we let Goku and his friends do all the work for us? And after they're done working hard, we'll just get the treasure. And Yamcha can't really find fault with that. So, that being said, once again, canon takes hold. Roshi shows up and annihilates Fry Pan Mountain. I mean, really, Roshi couldn't, I don't know, keep better track of the Bancho fan? I digress. This time, more than one Saiyan gets to watch this. And while Goku's able to imitate the technique, first try, Yamcha, how do I put this nicely? He sort of Dan Hibiki's this thing. Instead of a full-on Hadouken, he kind of does a very short-range blast. Barely inches from his hand. And only barely increasing on his second and third attempts. With the fourth, he swipes at a tree in frustration as he does it, and as he does, the ball ki coats his fingers, turning them into claws of ki. And thus, Yamcha realizes his own unique ki attack due to Master Roshi. But the realization of this new ability made him wonder something. How does Goku have all these connections to warriors? These powerful ones. Fortunately for us, Poir redirects Yamcha back to task. And as Goku and Bulma concern themselves with the means of travel, Yamcha began sorting out his way to track them. And soon enough, they were all on their way. Up until we hit Boss Carrot. And, how do I put this nicely? He's not going to make it to the moon, kids. After he's forced to return Bulma back to normal, Yamcha made very short work of Boss Carrot. And while Goku is very, very surprised by this intervention, Bulma's show of appreciation, it made Yamcha run away again. Eventually, though, Pilaf's gang got their little win in and captured the group. Yamcha and Goku could not escape. Bulma for certain could not escape. And once more, it was up to Oolong, the great hero of Dragon Ball, to steal Pilaf's wish. And for those in the uninitiated sector of Dragon Ball storied history, the wish was for panties. However, as Pilaf raged at the loss of his wish, another, more pressing issue came to pass. A full moon and 2 Saiyans. So, with that said, the 2 Saiyans emerged in their full Oozaru form and did battle with each other and the landscape. And by the time they were even a couple hours in to their rampage, the entire area would need cartographers to just remap the area. Fortunately for us, Oolong and Poir decided to team up and cut off the tails of both Saiyans. And as the night waned, 2 unconscious male Saiyans laid face down in the sands, in need of clothing. Which, fortunately for us, was obtained from the ruins of Pilaf's castle by Oolong and Puar. Not exactly the best fitting clothes, but, hey, better than nothing. And in the face of this adventure, we have canon slowly take back hold. Goku runs off to Master Roshi's island to begin his training. Bulma taking Yamcha and Oolong and Puar back to West City. And, yeah, it seems like everything is back to normal. Or is it? Because a month later, as Bulma returns to high school, Roshi's Island will receive a visitor. However, that will be in part 2. So, with that said, folks, this has been my first attempt at a narrative what if, and I hope you enjoyed it, and my little asides. So that said, if you enjoyed this content, then please leave a like, comment down below what you would like to see next, and if you have yet to, I implore you to subscribe. And you see that bell notification icon there? Well, you need to blast that thing with your very own double Sunday so that you too will be alerted when new content is made available to you. And for those wishing to support the channel further, we do have a Teespring store. So feel free to come on down, take a look at what we got, and if it catches your fancy, feel free. And if not, I fully understand. With that said, folks, I need to get started on the rough drafts of the what if Gohan, future Gohan, was the one to come back to the past. But by then, I'll probably be neck deep in edits. So, I'll catch you guys later.